stop.
Hello everyone, welcome to Truth, Grace, Love. I'm Juan. In this video I wanted to come out here and film outdoors in this really beautiful waterside area that I've driven by a few times. Being out here reminds me of God's creation. It reminds me of everything that He's capable of doing. The water, the plants, the ocean, the clouds, the sky, it's amazing. And with that very same power and that very same beauty and awesomeness that He created this world, He created us. Today I just want to speak into your spirit, into your soul, and tell you that you are an amazing creation, that you are a beautiful person, that you have purpose on this planet, and that without you things wouldn't be the same. I want to read to you an excerpt of the first miracle that Jesus did in the Bible. Now this is when He went to a wedding and they ran out of wine, and His mother came to Him and said, "Listen, they have no more wine, they have nothing." And He said, "Woman, what is this of me? It's not yet my time." But she insisted, and she told the servants, whatever He says to do, do. So this picks up right at that moment. Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons of water. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then He told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." They did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. Then He called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have drunk enough. But you have saved the best till now." This is really interesting because, number one, He tells them to go get these stone jars that the Jews used for ceremonial washing. When people came into the temple and wanted to do a sacrifice or prayer or whatever, they had to wash themselves first. So these stone jars were filled with dirty water. And then He told them to fill them with water. The Bible says they already had water in them. So it leads us to believe that He had to empty the water out first, the dirty water, and then fill it with clean water. And then the very next thing that happened is when they tasted it, it was no longer water, it was wine. And when He presented it to the master of the banquet, he didn't know where it came from, and he thought that it was the best wine. What does that mean? The jars represent us, and we are these vessels that at one point before God contained dirty water. We had sin, we had problems, we had issues, we had all these situations in life that keep us down. But when Christ comes into our lives, He empties all that out of us and He fills us up with fresh water. And not only does it remain water, but it turns into brand new wine, and it turns into the best wine. So I'm here to tell you that no matter what kind of dirty water you have in your life, Jesus can make it clean, and not just clean water, but turn it into the most valuable, precious wine that exists. And that's it. That's my message for today. That no matter what's going on, Jesus can turn it around for you. Jesus can clean you up. Jesus can take a vessel full of history and dirty stuff and sins and past problems and completely clean it up and turn it into the most expensive, best wine that could ever be. That's what He did with me, and that's what He could do with you. And Paul, out of all people, understood this the most because he knew that his past was a horrible one. He used to kill Christians, and God completely cleaned up that dirty water. And not only did He have clean water, but He turned the water into such an amazing wine that we now preach about the words of Paul, that most of the New Testament was written by Paul. And that's why he says, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us." And that power is the power of salvation that comes from Jesus Christ. Don't forget that you are precious to Him, that He loves you, that He wants to be with you every day, and He wants a relationship with you. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for subscribing and for sharing these videos. Please follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Periscope, on Snapchat. Everything is in the description below. And if this blessed you in any way, please share it on your pages. Let somebody else see it. People need to hear that they are precious in the sight of God. Once again, that's it. See you next time.